You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Halfway through the season and the first short week with Navy on Thursday. Tonight on The Ryan Silverfield Show, we talk about the quick turnaround and learn why some of these guys play the game of football.
The game is on.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
It is hard to believe we're halfway through the football season. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Willoshin.
And I'm Jarvis Greer. For the highlights of the big game, let's go to Cassie Carlson.
Under the lights in Tulsa, Tigers' first drive ends up in a field goal opportunity for freshman kicker David Kemp, making his debut from 36 yards out. It is wide right. He'd miss another in the first. On the Tulsa drive, they run all over Memphis. Shamari Brooks from 13 yards out weaves into the end zone for the first score of the game. 7-0 Tulsa, Tigers with the ball. Hennigan looks over the middle for Calvin Austin III, but it's picked off by Trayvon Fuller. He runs it back to the 15, giving the Golden Hurricane good field position. On 4th and 2, Memphis defense, though, comes up with a big stop to force the turnover on downs. Later on, it's 1st and goal for the Tigers in the red zone, and Brandon Thomas runs in for the score. That ties up the game. Tigers with the ball on 3rd and 10. Hennigan steps up in the pocket. He hits Devon Ivory open in the middle and makes some moves to avoid getting tackled. Impressive as he is taken out at the 3. And Thomas will finish off that drive. His second touchdown of the game, the PAT, no good. It is 13-7 Tigers lead. But with time running out in half, Tulsa moves down the field. 3 plays, 75 yards in 27 seconds, including this snatch. Tulsa goes up 14-13 at half. Same score in the 3rd. Hennigan throwing under pressure. The ball is out. It's fumbled and recovered by Tulsa. That's the second of 3 turnovers for Memphis in the game. 28-13 Tulsa in the 4th. Tigers in the red zone. Hennigan goes to the deep corner of the end zone, and a snag from Sean Dykes plus a 2-point conversion makes it a 1-score game. Tulsa scores again. It's 35-21. With 3 minutes to play and keeping cool under pressure, Calvin Austin III, a 30-yard touchdown, puts the Tigers within 1 score. He had 200 receiving yards in the game, the 5th most in school history. The Tigers come close, but another pick thrown by Hennigan ends this game. Memphis falls in its 3rd straight, final 35-29. Let's go to Jarvo and Wolo with head coach Ryan Silverfield.
Heartbreak here in Tulsa. A lot of yards, 600 in fact, but mistakes, injuries, controversial calls at the end. Coach, this is your 3rd loss in a row. I know it was tough to take.
Yeah, absolutely. No excuses, but we didn't do the things that we needed to in order to execute at a high enough level and win the football game. 3 turnovers as an offense, too many explosive plays allowed as a defense, and then really all the missed kicks, right? That's 10 points left on the board. We're talking about a different ball game. How do we be able to do any of those 3?
And mentally, you know, this team does not know how to lose. First time to lose 3 in a row since 2015. Seth Hennigan only lost twice his whole high school career. How do you focus mentally now to get him back?
Well, that's the key, right? I think that we understand that these young men fight, they care, and if you look at the narrative of the last 3 games, it's been very similar, right? The explosive plays, the turnovers, things that we have to be able to find a way to fix. And you know, you can practice the turnovers, you can talk about it, and you can talk about, you know, executing the assignment at a higher level. We're on a short week, but the guys understand. The leadership in the locker room gets it. They still believe in each other. They believe in the coaching staff, the calls that are being made, and they believe in each other. So they're going to go back to work, and that's what we know how to do.
Now here's something you don't have to fix, and that's the play of Calvin Austin. What an amazing player, somebody who came in as a walk-on out of Harding Academy in Memphis and is just really showing the world what he can do on the field.
Yeah, look, Calvin was a guy that was questionable whether he was going to be able to play. Barely was able to practice this week with an injury, but the type of young man he is, the toughness of him, you can tell he's fighting through some pain, but it means the world to him to come out and compete. He's one of the leaders in our locker room. I get done talking to the team, and guys were bright-eyed and understand the message that needs to be shared. And then Calvin stands up and says, it starts with me, I got to do better. And here you are talking about a guy that's done so much for this program, did so much tonight offensively, but sit there and telling the rest of his teammates, I've got to be better. But it doesn't matter. If we don't execute at a higher level, it's going to be a long road ahead. Owning the football has got to be our #1 priority. And I've been saying that, and I tell you guys that all the darn time. It's something we have to do. The explosive plays on defense, and then hopefully we have an answer in the kicking game here before too long.
Well, one thing, in all of these games, in the losses and the win, they've all gone down to like the last second. So you know your team is right there if you just can fix that one.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's that's the reality of this thing. I would be very concerned, and I am frustrated, I am angry, and I am concerned, but had these losses become blowouts, or had the team laid down or quit, that's not it. They believe everything that occurs in that locker room. They fight for each other. They understand that we have to get these things corrected. They want to get better. We've been here before, at least I have, when we were 4-4. And was able to continue to find ways to fight and win games as the season went on. And these guys believe, and we're going to share that message, but we got a short turnaround as we got to get ready for Navy.
All right, Coach, best of luck. We appreciate it, no doubt about it. Sports always change. There's always an evolution of some kind. And with defenses, at this moment, there's a thing called the 3-3-5. Football, just like every other sport, goes through periods of dominance on offense or dominance on defense. Well, we all know we are in the age of offense. But now, suddenly, Coach, defensive coordinators have come up with a thing called the 3-3-5.
Yeah, absolutely. It's become the new age deal, right? We saw it a little bit in the 80s with guys like Jackie Sherrill and people of that nature. But, nowadays, it's more and more put into defensive schemes to stop the RPO games. And RPOs are run-pass options, and that's become the rave in college football as of late. And so what happens is now you have 3 defensive linemen down front, and then you have 5 linebackers at different levels. And so whether it's a 3 linebacker, 3-3 to 3 linebackers, but those safeties sometimes can come down, so it may be like a 3-5 or another 3 linebackers at the core with 5 defensive backs. So what it's allowing is to coverage different zones. It's allowing to stop the different windows for the RPO game. And guess what? It's one of those things you got to constantly study and figure out how you can attack it effectively.
One thing about this 3-3-5 and all from the 4-3 and all these other numbers you could throw out with the 3-3-5, the guys you got up front, either you got to have big, bulky guys, or how do you like to play it when you're playing with the numbers like?
Yeah, well, I think that's one of those things is if you're playing with a 3 down front, whether it's a 3-4, 3-5, we can come up with 1,000 different names. I think a lot of those teams, they rely on a big nose. And I think those teams that have had success have been able to play with a guy that's 300-plus pounds. And, here at Memphis, we had a guy like O'Brien Goodson who was really quick. He was able to shoot the gaps. We're continuing to look. We rotated a lot of guys up for our 3-4 defensive scheme. But a lot of these teams are now playing those guys as tight 5 techniques. They're 265-pound guys. They're able to shove those tackles down and play effectively. So I think you got to look at your personnel and see if it matches and makes sense.
Bottom line is, because we've enjoyed all the offense here at the University of Memphis, but is this slowing the offenses down? Are we going to see a gradual swing of the pendulum?
Well, look, I think everything goes in swings and flows, and over time things just change, right? For a long time in the NFL, the NFC teams were all playing 3-4 defensive schemes. Then over the years now, they transitioned to a 4-3, and about half the teams in the AFC are playing 3 down. So I think it depends on where the coordinators are. When I was looking at defensive coordinators for the University of Memphis in the interview process, of the 7 I talked to, actually 6 of the 7 based out of a 3 down front. So that's part of the what people are doing. A lot of them feel like, hey, maybe it's harder to go out and recruit 4 good defensive linemen. That means that you need to be 12 deep there and having that good rotation, and maybe you can find 9 instead of 12. It's interesting, but it all plays a dynamic in the way you proceed.
Every player has their reason for playing the game, and coming up after the break, we're asking them who's their why.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Ryan Silverfield has a tradition. He has each of his players hang a photo in the back of their locker showing who's important to them. Every football player has their reason for playing the game, and tonight we're asking some of them who's their why. John, everyone has their reason why they play football, what drives them. What is yours?
My why is my family. They've been here They've been here my whole life. They've been sacrificing a lot for me to get here. You know, if it's from AAU trips in the summertime for basketball, or if it was just like a away game in football, they was there. And it means a lot when your family can come see you play. So that's really why I do it. I get here, if I don't feel right, I look in my locker and I see them in there, and that's my why. Make me want to go harder at practice every day.
Tate's dad, John Sr., is Arkansas State basketball's third all-time leading scorer and in the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. His success as a college athlete has helped his son, especially last year when Tate missed the season with a torn Achilles.
He just always tell me how proud he is for me bouncing back from that and just taking that a step every day and just coming back from that, because that's a hard injury. And just me playing how I'm playing right now, he just praised me, you know what I'm saying, just give me all the stuff I need to go out here and play every day.
All right, Isaac, everyone has their why, their what they play football for. What's yours?
My why, when I first started playing, was just to have fun. It was a game I loved. My dad introduced me to when I was younger, and I just ran with it. But over the years, it became more of a love thing. I began to, you know, I can do something with myself with this, so it became, I started doing this for my family, my mom, my aunties, my papa and them. Just my whole entire immediate family, they was always there for me, coming to every junior high game, Pee Wee League game, high school game, and now even on the college level, they're still coming to the games, even the away games, like they're always there.
Ellis grew up right across the street from a rec center. He was first introduced to football at 4 years old. His talents and love for the game took him from Monroe, Louisiana to Memphis. His family still comes to every game to watch him play.
What does it mean when you see them in the stands?
Before every game, if the sideline ever catch me, I be looking up in the stands, seeing if I can find my mom. I always give her a wave, and to my family, I make sure they see me before the game start. It's just something, you know, I always did when I first got here. Just, I think, give me good luck, I believe.
What's your why?
So definitely my why is my family. It has to do a lot with my grandfather. He played here in the first game in the Liberty Bowl, and so he's definitely a reason. Just because I always just grew up playing in the backyard, throwing football with him. He actually taught me how to kick, and then I became a long snapper, and kicking was not very well for me. And so I spent almost all my weekends at his house just throwing the football with him or just watching football on Saturdays. And so I always knew that I wanted to be a Tiger just because of him.
Dale Brady was a running back at Memphis State from 1965 to 67 before he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 1968.
Growing up, what did he share with you about playing football in college and at Memphis?
He had a ton of stories to tell me. He definitely taught me that when you come to Memphis, you're about work. And so when you come play football here, you're gonna work all the time and nothing's ever gonna be given to you. And so I've always just taken that for the past 4 years and learned how it's very easy to say, but it's very hard to do. And so he just always taught me, just keep working hard. Don't let anybody outwork you, because that's how Memphis is. So I've loved that, and that was probably the best advice he's given me.
All right, Javon, everyone has their reason, their why to why they play football. What is yours?
My why is really just to put my city, my town on the map, really. There's been a lot of people that sacrificed for me back from where I'm from. Like the man in my locker, number 8, I got him around my neck. I wear him all the time. He was like a brother to me, basically, when I was growing up. I seen him playing football, so him just being able to be out there and shine was like something I always looked up to and wanted to do. And when he told me I could be a star one day, I just always took that and ran with it. And then my family, my mom, she's always sacrificed for me, so of course she gonna always be at the top of the list. She's my biggest fan. She always at every game if she's able to make it to. My brothers, they've been around for the longest. They helped me. They 10, 11 years older than me, so I'm the baby boy in the house. So they always had pushed me and made me the man I am today.
The number 8 ivory wears around his neck is for Tim Barnett. He passed away 2 years ago in a motorcycle crash at the age of 28. He was the one who made Ivory fall in love with football.
Y'all used to come over to the house, play the game with me and my brothers. We go outside, we throw the football. We just going to my brothers' practices when they was in high school, so I'm going up there seeing all of them and they teammates, so it's just like just being around them. They basically like I just grew up with them.
What does it mean to you to be able to share who's important to you and who you play for with the rest of the team?
I think it shows that we like be able to know each other's backgrounds, because you really don't know until you really get started talking and getting to communicating with them, because you'll never know somebody might be going through someday. Your teammate could be down, and then you be like, what's wrong? Then you start looking around knowing what his background is just by sitting there looking at his locker and like, okay, this is what he's doing this for, so let me start connecting with him. I say it's very important for everybody to know who they do things for, so you won't be just not knowing why he doing what he doing.
So much of sports is about the mental side. And Coach, I love what you've done to get kids inspired. You call it My Why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. You got to find their reason, not just because they love the game of football, not just because they love being a student athlete here at the University of Memphis, but what's their why, and why do they play the game? Why do they do the things they do? Because it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to play football here at the University of Memphis. So part of the thing we do is the day they step on campus, we ask every incoming freshman, every transfer, we said, tell us your reason why you play football. Who is it that sacrificed to get you here? And what we do is we ask them for a picture of that person or those people that made that sacrifice in their life, their why. The people that they can look at every single time they come in for morning practice, look in the back of the locker, or when they're done with practice, had a hard day, they can look at the people in the back of the locker before they head to school.
You ever have anybody you got to really coax it out of? Because, you know, some people, their family situation might not be, and it could come from anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have, right? We've got guys with unique backgrounds that they're wise. Those that sacrifice come from all over. We have some that have a grandmother in the back of the locker. We have some that have so many people in the picture, you got to count Where's Waldo and see the 20 different people. You have some that have a significant other, right? This is the person that's inspired me to do things. You have some of our young men that have their own children, and it may be that why. A lot of them maybe have a parent or somebody else that played football. Some of them have people they idolize. So whatever it is that inspires them, we want them to have that notion, right, that they can look at that person right when they come in the building in the morning and also when they leave. You know, this is the Ryan Silverfield Show, so who is your why? You know, look, I've been so very fortunate with so many people that have had a positive influence in my life, but you know, my family's ultimately been there for me through thick and thin. You know, this is 23 years in this profession. I started coaching when I was 18 years old, and for most of my career, I didn't make a dime, and I constantly have worked my way and worked my way and worked my way. There's been a lot of ups and downs, right? From coaching the FC Championship to winning a conference here. All those different things have gone on in this career, but they've been some hard days. And it's taken a huge sacrifice from my family that's been able to be there supportive through good days and bad, and I'm grateful for them, and that's my why.
Well, the Tigers actually just got back to Memphis early this morning, and now they have a quick turnaround with a Thursday game. We preview that matchup with Navy coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
This may be the toughest week of preparation the University of Memphis has had in years. You got basically 2 days to prepare for the hardest team to play, and that's Navy.
We understand the complications that come about in a short week. Anytime you got to turn back around, get in late from a tough road game, and then turn around and play a Thursday night game, it's going to be hard. It's hard on the student athletes, it's hard on the preparation, but no excuses. We got to go out there and find a way. I think part of it is what you're getting with Navy, a team that blitzes, that plays multiple defensive fronts, and also that triple option offense. It's one of those things that we don't see all year. We know we're going to see it. We know it's hard to defend, but we got to be ready for it.
Also, Navy's been kind of a Jekyll Hyde team this year. You don't know what you're going to get when they get out there on the field.
They're a consistent team because we know exactly what they're going to do offensively. It's can you stop it, right? It's going to be ball control. It's going to keep our offense off the field. And if you don't stop it, it turns into a long day for the opponent. If you do, give yourself a chance like we did last year. It's good. We're going to have all hands on deck because the midshipmen are going to be bringing it.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
That is just about mission impossible. Stick around. We wrap up the show in just a minute.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please come back again late next Sunday night for another edition of The Ryan Silverfield Show.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. Next time you need a car battery, just pick it up. Visit AutoZone.com and select same-day store pickup. Just one reason why AutoZone is America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. And by Conway Services, official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. R.J. Young. Technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery. Turning dollars into dreams. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the University of Memphis Sports Network. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.